everyone. I'm HearMeowt. Welcome to my channel. It's the moment you've all been waiting for. Sarah Boone's closing arguments are finally posted online. I can hear everyone's questions now. How many pages is it? Is it handwritten or typed? Did Sarah finally manage to write something coherent and to the point for once in her life? Or is it going to be, as I predicted, just another rehash of the same bullshit nonsense she's been saying in her letters and texts for years, and most recently in testimony in court? I will read the entire document through one time at the beginning with minimal commentary so everyone can just get their fix, then go back through it again to provide deeper dive commentary for those who care to hear my opinion. So without further delay, let's get everyone's questions answered right now. Let's go. That would have been a disaster. Muted the whole time. Yes, it is a busy day, Hannah Banana. 2 lives. So sorry I didn't get this earlier, but sorry I didn't come out with this earlier. I know I said I would do it the minute I had it, but I still had to edit night 15 for Laurent. So just as a side note, for anyone, Suma, her internet's down, so that's why she's not on right now. And X-Derek's at some space camp somewhere. But if you haven't been joining us for Lornemas, tonight is night 15, and everyone seems to be enjoying it. So I'll just leave it at that. Thank you, everyone, for the wonderful birthday stream last night. Lots of fun. Let's see here. Oops, no, I don't want to change that. I had it perfectly sized. Okay, so first thing I'll say is I haven't watched any other videos because I was editing. But the first thing I noticed was that it's 5 pages, but 5 pages including the last handwritten one where proof of service, right? And so that makes the closing statement only 4 pages, and this one starts with a hanging sentence. So I wonder if there were pages in between, at least one more that she just pulled out to make it 5 pages, or if the court didn't get them all or something like that, which would be hilarious. Not that anything would have changed with having that extra page. And then this also seems to be a post submission or post writing edit, right? We just dropped this in. It's a different font. So who knows who helped her with this? Let's see if I can make it a little bit more even. I hate how this does this. Come on. Oh, I'll just have to go with this. Why does Adobe not let you pick? Okay, there's 160. 170. All right, that's probably as good as we'll get it. Okay. Let me change from the select to the pan. Respondent's written closing argument. So I'll just read it through once and then go back and talk about parts if you want. Actually, now other people have read it, so I'll just do my commentary as we go. Respondent Sarah K. Boone, and in her best representation and efforts, submits her closing arguments in opposition of the petitioner's parenting plan, amended and support orders, and all other requests the petitioner is attempting. What? Okay, so she objects to his parenting plan, right? Amended and support orders, and all other requests. What is she talking about? I guess she's talking about child support or alimony there, but whatever. It's already dumb. Opposition states as follows. To begin, the respondent would like to address the section of alimony and the petitioner's motion for modification of alimony, filed April 12, 2022. Respectfully, before this honorable court considers this request, the respondent asks that judicial notice be taken of her pending motion for contempt filed April 11th, 2023 against the petitioner. No, Sarah, that's not how it works. Who has willfully failed to comply with court-ordered alimony obligations by neglecting to pay ordered alimony to the respondent prior to filing this petition to modify. So she wants the judge to sanction Brian for the failed portion beforehand, which they are not arguing that isn't due. Under Florida law, alimony obligations are court. Sorry, let me drink a little water here. This is a cold read, by the way. Under Florida law, alimony obligations are court enforceable and cannot be ignored without consequences. Section 61.08 Florida statutes governs the award of alimony, and when such an obligation is established, the paying spouse must comply absent modification by the court. Further, Section 61.14 Florida statutes explicitly allows for enforcement actions and contempt proceedings when alimony remains unpaid. Florida courts have consistently held that failure to pay court-ordered alimony constitutes grounds for contempt. As these obligations are not optional, they are legally binding. Sarah, they agreed in court that prior to filing the motion for amending alimony, that alimony should have been paid. So what are you talking about? You just want what? You just want punishment? Oh my God. Starting off on a strong foot. Why? Whatever. Okay, so then we got this section added in here. It is important to take note that the former husband, Brian C. Boone, was employed full-time during the entire 2 years that he did meet the requirements of his court-ordered alimony payments. With no period. The petitioner cannot, in good faith, request a downward modification while simultaneously standing in violation of the very court order they now seek to alter. Is that true? I don't think that's true. Equity demands that one must come before this court with clean hands, and the petitioner's noncompliance bars them from the relief they request until such arrears are addressed. So I guess she's saying we can't deal with anything until the arrears are paid. But there's a motion on that you owe the other side. Okay, let me back it up here as well. What period is she talking about here? Was employed full-time during the entire 2 years that he met the requirements of his court-ordered alimony. So are you talking 2018, 2019? Or are you talking about the 2 years he didn't pay? What is she talking about? Can't request a downward modification. I believe you can. They are agreeing, though, that before they file the modification, they would still be legally bound to those amounts, which they agreed to in court. In the second portion of the petitioner's request, he asks this court to impute income to respondent for purposes of calculating child support obligations. Respectfully, this is improper to do under both Florida law and authority from other jurisdictions. What other jurisdictions? Because the only ones that matter are Florida. This issue has been addressed in Department of Revenue v. Yamas 196. Okay, let's look up this case. 1 second here. 1 second. Where the court held that trial courts cannot impute income to an incarcerated individual absent a showing of the ability to pay. The Lamas decision aligns with persuasive authority such as Lambert v. Lambert, 861 Northeast 2nd, where the Indiana Supreme Court concluded that imputing income to an incarcerated individual is improper because such individuals lack the present ability to earn income. Well, I don't know why the Indiana Supreme Court would matter in Florida. So let's see here. This case. All right. So procedural facts for this is the Yamas case, Department of Revenue, the Yamas. The Department of Revenue proposed an administrative support order requiring the father Yamas to pay child support of $840.63 months plus past support. The father requested review before the Division of Administrative Hearings. At the hearing, it was revealed that the father would soon be entering a plea agreement that would result in 2 years of incarceration. Vehicular manslaughter sounds good. Department of Revenue argued that even though the father would be incarcerated, the ALJ ALJ? I don't know what the ALJ should impute at least minimum wage income to him for child support purposes. The ALJ declined to impute income, reasoning that the father lacked present ability to pay and therefore declined to set a current obligation. Okay. Okay, what was the holding? Okay, the issue is, can a court impute income for child support purposes, establish an initial support obligation to a person who is about to become incarcerated, even that given that incarceration diminishes or eliminates their present ability to pay? No. The first DCA, District Court of Appeals, held that the statutes governing child support, as well as Florida Supreme Court precedent, do not permit imputation of income in such circumstances, i.e. where the obligor is incarcerated or about to be incarcerated and lacks present ability to pay. The ALJ's refusal to impute income was affirmed. Additionally, the first DCA, District Court of Appeals, certified conflict with McCall v. Martin, which had taken the opposite view. Okay, well, my God, did she cite a case that was relevant? So I'm not sure what ALJ stands for. It must be okay. Distinction from modification cases. Much of the precedent, Department of Revenue v. Jackson, 2003, deals with modification of existing child support when a parent becomes incarcerated. The first District Court of Appeals in Lamas treated that line of cases as not directly controlling for initial support orders. Okay, I think that's where she loses, because this is a modification. So I'm guessing in Lamas, that I'm just reading between the leaves here, between the tea leaves. I'm guessing that if this guy was going to prison for vehicular manslaughter, if his spouse divorced him because she knows he's going to prison, and then she demands child support from him, that's the initial setup in saying, well, no, you can't impute income because I'm going to be in prison. This agreement was already in place. Child support there was already a child support agreement on the books as early as 2018 because Brian was paying it. It could be modified in terms of who's paying for it based on different income levels. I mean, modifications happen all the time. So this doesn't rule over modification. Sorry, Sarah. That is a big loss for you. I don't think that's going to fly. Let's see. I'm live right now. Just never mind. Sorry, I was talking to my son. Okay, well, that's interesting. The Lamas decision aligns with persuasive authorities such as Lambert v. Lambert. Yeah, Indiana Supreme Court. No, don't care about the Indiana Supreme Court. The respondent in this case is serving a life sentence. Duh. There's no evidence of present or future ability to generate income. That's interesting. Why isn't she mentioning that she's about to get out on appeal? Florida law on child support recognizes that obligations must be based on actual ability to pay, not speculative or non-existent income. To impute income here would not only contradict established law, no, it would create an artificial support order that the respondent has no capacity to ever be able to fulfill. Actually, you do have the ability to fulfill it, right? What Brian is saying is, okay, here goes the alimony to you, and then you pay it all back to me in terms of child support. How does she fail to see this? That she's like, I don't have any money, I can't pay child support, but I need all the money from Brian. This is so stupid. With respect to the nature and purpose of child support, it is important to emphasize that child support exists for the best interest of the child, not as a punitive measure against the parent. Well, it isn't a punitive measure against the parent. It's for support of the child. It's saying, hey, why would I give money, or you should be contributing to Lucas's life. And by giving you alimony, when you should be providing child support, that does not help the child. Section 6130, Florida statutes, establishes the child support guidelines and sets forth that child support is always designed to meet the needs of the minor child. And where in their order is it punitive? They set minimum wage. They didn't set it like $2,000 a month because he's really rich and they're trying to get him back or get one partner back. The Florida Supreme Court has repeatedly underscored that the focus of child support orders must remain on the child's welfare, not on creating financial leverage between parents. Sarah, what do you think your entire case is about? You're trying to exercise financial leverage over Brian. They want to call it even, which is in the child's best interest. The petitioner further requests that if the respondent is awarded any monetary relief, such relief should be retroactively offset against alleged back child support obligations. What? Oh, sorry. I was flipping the respondent and petitioner in my head. Should be retroactively offset against alleged back child support obligations. Respectfully, this position is legally and equitably unsound. Is it? To allow such an offset would defeat the entire purpose of child support. What? And it wasn't just retroactively, it was futuristically as well, Sarah. You said you're not going to be able to support him until he's an adult. So let's go ahead and calculate this out until he's 18. Child support is a vested right belonging to the child, not the parent. And Florida courts have long held that these rights cannot be waived, bargained away, or retroactively manipulated to serve financial interests of one parent over the child. That's rich. Now, Brian's manipulating his son to get whatever. Your Honor, I should read my voice. I should do more of a Sarah voice. Your Honor, even if this court were to accept the petitioner's request to impute income to the respondent and allow any relief owed to her to be offset by alleged arrears, the outcome would still provide no monetary support to the child. How would it not, Sarah? If he's paying you, that is less money to raise the child. Instead of benefiting the child, as Florida law requires, the result would simply call it even, erasing the petitioner's arrears while simultaneously depriving the respondent of funds she is legally entitled to receive. Yes, the result would call it even. You owe and he owes, and they offset. It simultaneously erases the responsibility you have as well, Sarah. In effect, this approach would punish her for the petitioner's past noncompliance and reward the petitioner by relieving him of obligations already legally established under Florida law. Oh, my God. No, they're agreeing that they owe you the money before stopping payments. So that's not noncompliance anymore. They put the motion in, so that's not noncompliance. Secondly, Um, your motion for contempt was filed in 2023, right? So, or was it 2022? I don't remember. But it's so weird that she can say this bullshit. The controlling principle is clear. Child support exists for the benefit of the child, not as a financial tool for either parent. Well, okay, is that the third time we're going to say that? Not creating financial leverage, child's welfare, serve the financial interests of parent over the child, cannot be waived. And then again here, for the benefit of the child, not a financial tool for either parent. To permit such an offset, well, actually, this is what I was going to say before. Let's say, Sarah, you had gotten all that money from alimony up until 2025. And then he put in his motion back in 2022. And then the court decides, yeah, you know what? He doesn't owe you alimony from 2022 forward because you have no expenses. How are you going to give that money back? You would have already spent it. That's the whole purpose of not paying, because you aren't going to be able to pay it back. To permit such an offset would shift the focus away from the child's welfare and toward the petitioner's personal gain, undermining both the purpose of the child support and the equitable enforcement of court orders. You dumb cow. Oh my God. We are talking about court orders here and modification. The only one who has the child is Brian. So what do you need money for? Nothing you have said in the first 2 pages has made any goddamn sense. I guess it's just rehashing the same old bullshit, right? For these reasons, the respondent respectfully requests that this honorable court deny the petitioner's motion for modification of alimony, deny the request to impute income, and deny his request to retroactively offset any potential relief against child support obligations. Sarah, you didn't mention why you needed alimony at all. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. She has not mentioned one supporting thing in the entire first 2 pages of why she should get alimony. Their request is that you not be given alimony after they filed the motion for modification. Where is your argument saying that you get it? She gave no reason for this conclusion. She's just concluding something she hasn't talked about. Deny the petitioner's motion for modification of alimony. Based on what, Sarah? The only thing you talked about was imputing income and retroactively offsetting relief against child support obligations, which would be 100% appropriate. Oh. Yeah, okay. I didn't understand that. It's so obvious. It's so obvious she doesn't need to explain it. Well, that makes sense. I don't know why my chat window is lagging behind. New comments. Okay, all the way down here. Oh, okay. Here we go. Yeah, she's presupposing everything not in evidence here. Okay, let's see how she does in the next part. The petitioner's parenting plan suggests suggestions? What is the sentence? The petitioner's parenting plan suggestions. I'm not the best at punctuation, but doesn't this read as parenting plan suggestion is the respondent in opposition request to follow is? I think what she meant was the petitioner's parenting plan suggestions the respondent is in opposition to. I don't know. whatever. Yeah, the entire header is nonsense. Thank you for being here as well. We got 250 people here. Make sure to hit the like and join us tonight for Lornt Night 15 or Lornmas Night 15. We get a poem at the beginning from X-Derek. Petitioner's parenting plan. Sorry. Super chat. Polynomial purebred. $4.99. Thank you very much. B still acts like unfortunate event happened to her instead of he did. Yeah, she is acting like it was a natural disaster, like a tornado. Let's see. I have a different set of stuff in here. This is an old setup from a month ago when I created it. We're going to do this. We'll do
testimony. Testimony. The defendant's testimony.
Act surprised. Walk slowly to the podium. Be modest.
Outstanding. The thing's like 47 seconds long. It's too long. Okay. So we're on to the parenting plan. Respondent does not agree with the petitioner's amended. Respondent does not agree with the petitioner's amended parenting plan due to it not being in the best interest of the child. What do I? Am I supposed to object? Because I object. 2 periods. The respondent is avidly seeking to be included in her son's life in every aspect possible and in accordance with Florida law. Respondent should not automatically have her inclusion as a parent to continue to raise, contact, and participate in his life removed, deterred, or reduced due to incarceration. There we go. Oh, I've missed this thesaurus version of Sarah. Removed, deterred, reduced, raise, contact, participate. It's not automatic, Sarah. That's the whole point. That's why we're doing the hearing. That's why it's been argued. It's not automatic. Location differences do not suffice exclusion, nor does one unfortunate event define her as a human being and mother to her son. Oh my goodness. Sarah, where have you been? You're back. This is pure Sarah here. Yes, location differences do matter, Sarah, because you're permanently separated from the rest of the population for the rest of your life. Even though you think you're getting out on parole sometime, which you're not, or you're going to get a new trial. Not parole. She's going to get a new trial and vindicated. You're in a place where they lock up people that can't be around other people. So how does that not impact you having a relationship with your son? Huh, Sarah? I bet you're not going to tell us. You just are stating that you have the right. And it wasn't one unfortunate event. The fact that you can't, this is as exactly as Josh Martell said, the fact that she can't even admit that she murdered somebody and she still frames that as an unfortunate event shows how dangerous she is. Hunter v. Hunter 540 states the court ruled that shared parental responsibility must be honored unless proven harmful to the child. I think they did. They're saying it's not good for you to be calling him every day. The respondent is emphatically asking for this responsibility to utilize in her greatest capacities currently available, regardless of location differences, which she can fully be successful in and continue to enrich her son's life even more. Ceaselessly upholding his rights as a child, even while at DOC, and in which, how are you upholding his rights? Oh, does she want the court to do? Okay, yeah. She's asking the court to do all this stuff. Ceaselessly upholding his rights as a child. Well, no, but then the court's not at DOC. You're at DOC. And in which he avidly invites and welcomes every day she is in communication with them. Unless she decides she doesn't want to talk to him. So let's look at this one. Hunter v. Hunter. Is she going to wow us with this? Oh, my alt tab isn't working again. Come on. Hunter v. Hunter. Okay. So this was a case from 1989. The parties divorced in 1982. They executed a marital settlement agreement incorporated into the 1983 final judgment. The agreement provided for shared parental responsibility, with the wife having primary physical custody, husband liberal visitation, $400 a month child support, and equal responsibility for medical dental expenses, blah, 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 blah. Subsequently, there were multiple disputes, motions over visitation, custody, support with serious accusations, i.e., child abuse by wife, SA by husband. That sounds acrimonious. In the modification proceedings at issue, the husband asked for primary physical custody. The wife asked for sole parental responsibility, enforcement of arrearages, and permission to relocate the children out of Florida. The trial court, in the order on appeal, denied the husband's request for physical custody, refused to reduce child support, temporarily suspended his visitation, ordered him to pay medical expenses, and awarded the wife sole parental responsibility. So the appeal must have been from the husband. The husband contended that the trial court erred in terminating his rights. A key passage in Hunter often cited for the proposition that when visitation or time sharing is restricted, the court should articulate the steps that the parent must take to regain the access. That'd be easy. Get out of jail, Sarah. Sarah, you are in violation of this order right now as well. This parenting plan. You are not keeping him. You're not taking him every other weekend. It's so dumb that you objected to the modifications. You skipped that sentence that said, in the event she's released from prison. Okay, is there anything else in here? Some later decisions have reversed orders that did not set forth any standards or benchmarks for reinstatement of visitation. Okay, so I don't really know how this helps her. Yeah. Hunter is more about if you lose it, the appeal of Hunter v. Hunter is more about if your rights are taken away, you have to be able to know how to get them back. For whatever reason you lose them. Okay. Florida Statute 61.13 affirms both parents have equal rights to participate in their child's life unless clear and convincing evidence proves harm to the child. Well, I'd assume you can't have your son in prison. The primary reason for the request of guardian, oh my God, of a guardian ad litem, the respondent was repeatedly denied to emphatically prove there is no such evidence. Okay, this is new. We always assumed she wanted the guardian ad litem to, give all of the dirt on Brian, which I still think is true. But she wants it to prove that she is a good parent. The guardian ad litem is, God. Whatever. This court denied it. Sarah, the child also could have reaffirmed his praise. The child could also, God. The child also could have reaffirmed his praise for their relationship, which he knows will grow to another positive level once applications for his visitation are finally received, where both mother and son can be reunited in person. For major decisions in the child's life, the respondent should be included in his growth as a in his growth as a young adult, which can help shape him into an even greater, more open-minded, loving, and successful. Loving and successful what? Oh, I added in the A, I guess. This is such flowery bullshit. Shape him in... How, Sarah? You write all these words. You write so many words. You speak so many words all the time, and you never say anything of substance or value. Let's look up Lamb v. Lamb. What? No return? This isn't the case that I can find. So she did it again. ChatGPT, I assume. There's a Lamb. That's not. Is it? There's a Louisiana case. Okay, well, don't know what this case is. I'll just try another search. Lamb v. Lamb, Florida. Was anyone else able to find it? Oh, Kathleen. Okay. Oh. I just found out because she's in close custody, visitation application is different to other inmates. It's not done by paper application, which gave Brian. It's her fault. It's not approved. Oh. So she wants close custody visitation versus just like them showing up and being able to talk to her through the phone or something. Is that what we're saying? Like she wants enhanced visitation. Okay, there's a Lamb v. Lamb 533 from 1988. Lamb v. Lamb is probate estimate, family law, prenuptial agreement. Okay. She probably meant this. I'm going to put this in the comments here. What an idiot. I mean, I guess she doesn't have the internet, right? But she obviously didn't look this up. All right, so this one, Lamb v. Lamb, 533, Southern District, 857, Florida, 4th District, Court of Appeals, 1988. I mean, it's about custody at least. So this one says, issues and holding, even though the judge is going to look this up. Change of permanent residence, modification of custody. The court considered whether there was a substantial material change in circumstances since the original decree justifying modifying who should have physical custody. The master found in the trial court accepted that the parties' conduct and communications indicated that the original settlement terms concerning residence had effectively been reversed. Found that placing the primary residence with the husband would better promote the welfare of the children, given greater stability in his home. Well, I don't know why she would cite this case for that. Let's see here. She appealed. Pastor again recommends residents remain with the husband. And the wife appealed. But anyway, yeah, the court didn't reverse it. So this case, Lamb v. Lamb said, yeah, it's based on if there's a significant change in circumstances. Well, like, I don't know. I don't get out much, so, you know, things like seem like a big deal to me, maybe more than other people, but going to prison seems like a big change. What do you guys think? I mean, there could not be a more clear-cut major change in circumstances from a prior child custody and parenting plan agreement. The respondent's mind, heart, so, like, Sarah, let's say your trial had finished and you've been sent up to Gainesville in the prison, right? And they stayed in Orlando. That puts you in violation. You weren't supposed to move. Then she'd be like, oh, well, I can't help it. The respondents, oh God, more of this shit. Oh. For major decisions in the child's life, the respondent should be included in his growth as a young adult, which can help shape him into being even greater, more open-minded, loving, and successful. You know, all those kids with parents in prison, they turn out pretty good on average, right? It doesn't affect them at all. Both parents must be consulted on major decision unless an emergency arises. Well, Sarah, you want them to contact you in prison. Is there anyone less useful in an emergency than somebody in prison? I cannot think of one. We don't know. She dated it the 2nd of September. I have my doubts. The respondent's mind, heart, soul, and overall being wishes... The respondent's mind, heart, soul, and overall being, which lives for her son, the why are you always getting rid of him, still computes love, understanding, compassion, knowledge, wisdom, goodness to provide to her son's life, no matter where she is. Sarah, you're talking about your mind, heart, and soul, and love, and compassion, and knowledge, no matter where he is. If it doesn't matter where he is, then why does he have to visit you at all? Right? If you're doing all this now, why does there need to be a change where he has to be forced to visit you twice a month? Waste an entire Saturday. And he's at that age where this is going to get old real fast. Really, really fast. I remember when I was doing orchestra, the different orchestras practice different days, but like for instance, one of them would always be Thursday nights, but I was on a Saturday morning one when I was in 7th grade, and then again my senior year for Seattle Youth Symphony, or principal percussionist. Just saying. But the Saturday mornings when I was in 7th grade, those were even the more difficult ones. Right? Because I was forced to go there. I didn't have my own license, right? So we break for lunch in the middle, but you're sacrificing every Saturday. I was sacrificing 3 hours, which felt like forever at the time, right? Even if we got out at 1 o'clock. She wants it to be an all day thing. She wants him to be there for 6 hours. I was percussionist, principal percussionist. Thank you. So I don't think she understands that this is Luke. Oh, sorry, I keep saying his name again. Everyone just rinse your ears out. He's not going to want to do this. If she's really an hour and 20 minutes away, that's a 3-hour round trip in one day before you get to the prison and have to sit there. There's nothing to do in prison. It's going to be dumber than the chat message between Lauren and the decoy. Hey, Hey, hard eyes, kissy face Rose. Anyway, she desperately wants to be included and has not been since her incarceration. Well, duh. Why not, Sarah? Because you were in jail. You failed. Where withholding of such redeeming qualities to their son from the respondent have been due to petitioner's ongoing decisions to alienate her. No! He's not withholding them. From the sounds of it, you are harassing them all the time. You're calling them every day. And if he doesn't pick up the phone because he doesn't want to talk to his mom every day like he's his girlfriend, that it's somehow Brian's fault. All right. Last page. So again, this is a hanging sentence, so there had to have been a page in between here. We will forever miss that comedy gold. Something between parties, not to reward a party acting in bad faith. So I'm sure she said something like, this is meant to, have equal time between parties, not to reward a party acting in bad faith. The respondent additionally asked the court to strike or dismiss the petitioner's request as nothing more than an improper attempt to... What? Okay. There had to have been a lot more in here. She's not even talking about the parenting plan anymore. Because she's back on... outstanding alimony? Well, that's a tight argument, right? You start with saying... You already said deny modification for alimony. You know what it is? I bet everything above here was all her bullshit about her motion for contempt. About about Brian not paying it. And then them not going to the not going to the mandatory meeting before the thing, not doing the pre-trial statement together, lack of communication. That's what was all in there. That's why whoever probably got it said, you can only do 5 pages. And then so she's like, okay, well, I'll just take these out. I got my first 3, and then I'll take my last one. That's solid. Right? What do you guys think? That had to have been what's up here. So they did the quick edit, just removed the pages. Furthermore, the petitioner has alleged that the respondent is the party who has, quote, caused chaos and delayed these proceedings. She hates that word. She hates that was referenced to her. When it is actually entirely truthful. Sarah, you are nothing but chaos. Respectfully, this assertion is contradicted by the record. On April 18th, 2023, it was the petitioner himself who filed a motion for continuance. He filed the motion for continuance on your motion for contempt. Because we... Despite the fact that the respondent was prepared to have all pending motions heard more than 2.5 years ago. No, Sarah, you weren't. You knew the judge said, I'm going to have to take your confinement in jail as a factor, and you didn't want that. So I said, we're not going to decide anything until your criminal trial's over. And now that the criminal trial is over, this is what's happening. What world does she live in where this can all just never land in her brain? I guess she's got nothing but time, right? She is the worst. Yeah, the petitioner filed for a motion for continuance on your motion for contempt because they hadn't heard his motion for modification of alimony first. Even though he stopped paying before then, it does not. It's the order of the motion, Sarah, and their relevance to each other that matters. You know, just like how you murdered somebody before all this happened, that takes precedent since you were charged with murder. Okay. The respondent firmly rejects the petitioner's baseless allegations that she's the cause of delay. What do you mean baseless? Your delay of your criminal trial is legendary across the world. Not really in Winter Park. Nobody knows who you are there. You went through 9 attorneys. You keep going through appellate attorneys. You delay everything. So it's not baseless allegations. It's very much based. It's 100% based. Moreover, the choice to retain private counsel is just that, a choice. This is a civil matter, and no party is compelled to hire an attorney. Well, why did you keep asking for one, Sarah? If you don't think they're so necessary, why are you complaining about not getting one? Thus, the petitioner's voluntary decision to incur legal fees should not be shifted onto the respondent. Yes, it should when you bring the action that is causing this to drag out forever, Sarah. It is your fault. This happens all the time in court cases. When one party is clearly causing legal costs to mount, fees can be shifted to the other party. And if you keep going on with this bull and you file more motions and he has to retain an attorney again, I mean, you're not going to be able to pay it, but you're going to get tagged as a vexatious litigant. And you're not going to be able to do anything anymore. Okay. Petitioner's voluntary decision to incur legal fees should not be shifted onto the respondent, particularly when he is already delinquent in meeting his court-ordered support obligations. No, he's not. That's what this trial is. You are delinquent 100% in your parenting plan. They want to change the parenting plan so that you are in compliance with what you can do, and you object to that. To award fees in this context would effectively reward the petitioner for non-compliance and penalize the respondent. No, they already said they owed $26,000. An outcome that is wholly inconsistent with the principles of equity and fairness under Florida law. The respondent wishes to remind the court that the petitioner alleges to have paid for a storage unit for 2 years. What? Alleges? Now it's alleged? The respondent wishes to remind the court that the petitioner alleges to have paid for a storage unit for 2 years, but has failed to provide any evidence of this. Therefore, it's one word, Sarah. Therefore, his request to have this deducted from any monetary relief I may be rewarded should be dismissed. So where was your shit then, Sarah? If it wasn't in a storage unit? Where was it, Sarah? He still has it. This is bold. You didn't show any receipt for it. How do I know you just didn't bring it over? And now you're why would he make it up? For all foregoing reasons, isn't she the one that said it was auctioned off? Isn't she the one that kept claiming that? Right? She came up with that line. She said, you allowed my storage unit with all my heirlooms to be auctioned off. You cited the storage unit in your own paperwork, Sarah. On your whole financial statement, you wrote the storage locker had $10,000 worth of stuff in it. So what do you mean, alleged storage locker? This is another level of stupid. No, Brian has the right to charge. Yes. But she's saying the storage locker, there's no proof that he paid for one. When she cited the storage locker in her paperwork. For all foregoing reasons, the respondent, Sarah K. Boone, respectfully requests the court. Let's not. A, find the petitioner in civil contempt for violating the court-ordered payments he was ordered to pay while he was employed, and ordered the petitioner to pay $26,000 in alimony and $23,14 in interest payable under Florida law. Let me just get Excel up. I'm going to see how she calculated this. This moron. Okay. Let's divide this. 2314, 26, 8.9%. That's what she cited on her pretrial statement, right? Let me see here. Sarah Boone, civil case documents, pretrial statement. Interest. Yep. There it is. She took the last one, so she still doesn't know how compound interest works. Idiot. No, I still need the other one. Where'd the other one go? And they already agreed to the 26. But why aren't you... Wait a minute. She said above she wants to deny their motion for modification of alimony. But then she doesn't say down here, I should get the rest of my alimony. They already agreed to this 26, and they're saying you owe the child support to offset it, in addition to other expenses and legal fees. Deny the petitioner's request that he calls... Deny the petitioner's request that he calls even that impedes an income for the respondent for child support. D. Deny the petitioner's proposed parenting plan and grant the respondents in place of. Well, I'm assuming the parenting plan that she's referring to is again below here because she didn't, it's not in here, or she thinks just saying it in court in her prior motions. Everyone just remembers that. I want 1 to 2 in-person. Well, Lynn, it's the 1 to 2 in-person visits per month for the maximum allowable time by the facility, which is, 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. Yeah, she did at least verbally. Okay, this was her parenting plan. Remember, yeah, she didn't do it on paper that I know of. But in her statement in trial, she wants 1 to 2 in-person visits per month for maximum allowable time at the facility, 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. She wants the ability to call as often as she and her son want, using all proposed means of technology that aren't being used by Brian yet, so that they can enhance their relationship. And she wants money on the card so she doesn't get interrupted with there not being funds to make a phone call, and be included in all major decisions, right? Because she doesn't want to lose, sole custody. This isn't even a termination of parental rights, right? It's just sole custody. It's so insane. And then she wants to be included on all holidays, right? With a video visit. No matter where they are, their convenience be damned. Respectfully submitted on the 2nd day of September, 2025, and in all gratitude of this honorable court's patience. Do we think it was submitted on the 2nd? I mean, it would be... I'll give Sarah this one little wiggle room. Remember, she had a month to turn in her pretrial statement and it showed up a month late. This showed up a month late. So maybe it does take that long for the prison system mail to get through there. I don't know. For whatever reason. Or she just takes a month to do everything. So we'll see. Oh, welcome. Sorry I haven't been able to read the chat. It's very hard to read the chat and read the thing at the same time. I forgot the end here. Sarah K. Boone, pro se, responded. We know you're pro se. And then she got her little certificate of service. I hereby certify that a true and correct copy of the foregoing has been filed with the court via U.S. mail and sent to opposing counsel at the following address on September 2nd, 2025. Okay, I'm going to scroll past the address. Wait a minute. One second here. Yeah, okay. I don't know why. I don't know why it takes so long for her to get in there. Hopefully we get, closing arguments soon this week. Maybe. I will continue editing my Lorne Miss videos so that we are able to get it instantly or as soon as possible. I would, again, encourage everyone to come this evening, 6:15 Pacific, for another reading. You could ask everyone who's been there. Everyone who's shown up, they were hesitant at first. They all love it. Teresa Bell, thank you for joining. I want to make sure. Oh, sorry, Emily H. I missed this. $5. One, happy belated birthday. Oops. Wait a minute. This isn't the right banner. If I had this thing up the whole time. Oh my gosh. I meant this one. Nope. This one. Well, everyone ignore the banner. Happy belated birthday, Balloon. Thank you. 2, thank you for keeping me company while on guest room elliptical. My frenemy. Oh, it's in the guest room. Got it. I thought you were saying it was like a different elliptical that you normally get. Maybe you are saying that. But yeah, I will be back in about an hour and 45 minutes. Everyone in the chat, press 1 if you're joining us when you weren't doing it before for the Lorne Miss. And if you knew nothing about it before, but you're loving it, press 1. Press 1, press 1, press 1, press 1, press 1, press 1. Lynn, there we go. We got one. Margarita, a good day. Yes, I recognize all these names. So again, we get a poem at the beginning of today again. I love the stupid poems. But yeah, we will see everyone there. I guess an outro. We will just roll with now the pretrial recording. But have a good evening, everyone. And we'll see you soon.
Hello, everyone. This is HearMeowt from HearMeowt News. I'm standing in front of the Orange County Courthouse, where tomorrow Sarah Boone will finally receive her family law case trial after 5 years of waiting. I've been in the Orlando area for the past weekend speaking to residents, and I can tell you that there is a deep divide in opinion on Sarah Boone. On the one hand, an extreme minority believe that Sarah Boone's family law case should be picked apart and preyed on after it was made infamous by social media due to her criminal case. While on the other hand, the extreme majority gave responses such as, "Who is Sarah Boone? What are you talking about?" and "No habla inglés." Perhaps the one thing that can unify this country is that no one said Sarah Boone should ever get out of prison. Sarah Boone might not be alone tomorrow, though. Rumors are that some of the handful of Sarah Boone supporters from around the country could actually be here in person, often referred to as boonies, flying monkeys, or as this reporter refers to them, idiots. I find it hard to believe that many will attend, as it will require both the ability to read and comprehend clear signs laid out in front of them. Even though tomorrow's hearing is scheduled to last 3 hours, almost twice the amount of time it was taken to convict her of murder, it might be one of the simplest hearings yet. Sarah Boone has failed to submit a number of items as requested by the court ahead of the hearing. The items she has submitted are incoherent, rambling, subjective, emotional sentences that are seemingly focused on punishing her ex-husband instead of actually focusing on the law. Brian Boone's attorney, meanwhile, has submitted succinct legal arguments that have many questioning why this hearing is even happening. As for this reporter, even after Sarah Boone is dragged out of the telephonic conference room on the way back to her cell, kicking and screaming about delicious delights, it's not going to be the last we heard of her. After all, Sarah Boone committed torture murder, recorded it on her own camera, then handed that camera over to the police the next day, and still turned down a plea deal and pleaded not guilty. It seems there is no amount of common sense or reality that can get through to Sarah Boone. For Hear Me Out News, I'm HearMeowt signing off. See you tomorrow.